It is definitely one of those days. Good morning. You guys want to see what I worked on all weekend? We had a pathway here at my house. It kind of goes around the corner over to the driveway, garage, and it was, well, here's a picture. So we decided to rip all that out, and we're going to put a paver path in here. And so I dug all the old stones and lava rock and stepping stones and dug the dirt down. I'm going to put a layer of gravel stone in the bottom of there, some limestone, pack it down, add some sand on top, and then we'll lay our pavers down. But yeah, I scooped a lot of dirt out of there. I have a full dump trailer load, which looks like yard waste, but it's mostly dirt. I just threw some stuff on top because I had it sitting back there. I have lived in town now for 10 years. I still do not know how to get rid of yard waste by just setting it out by the road. Like, nobody tells me when they're coming, how that works, what you can put there, what you can't. So I pile it behind my shed, and then when I have opportunities like this, when I'm here with a trailer or a backhoe or something, I throw it in the back and haul it out to the farm. It's just easier for me. All right, I am back at the farm here. I tried to dump that trailer, but the back door wouldn't open, so I'm gonna have to mess with that later. I don't have time right now. Breakfast first, and it's no longer Pop-Tart season. This weekend was strawberry jam making time here at my parents' house. My sisters came home. They make strawberry jam. My mom, it's fantastic. So, peanut butter and jellies for the next couple of weeks. Anyway, we're gonna start side dressing corn again today, so I'm gonna go get the tractor and the anhydrous bar, and I don't know if we need to fuel it up, and hook up to a tank, and we're gonna head to the field. Okay, I got fuel, filled up my water, gotta hook onto this tank, and then we'll go. All right, well, we're getting started here. You can see this corn is quite small yet. This is replant corn. This was one of the first fields that we did where we tore it out and replanted the whole thing, or almost the whole thing. And so this corn was planted less than 2 weeks ago. The fact that it's this big is pretty amazing. Makes it a little bit harder to side dress when it's this small, just because you don't want to throw any dirt on it and cover it up, or get off the rows and cause damage to it. But should be okay. We'll do this. There's 100 acres here, and then I don't know if we'll have more to do today or not. We'll see. So I got a couple other just little things to update you on, I guess. One, Friday night we had almost 4/10 of an inch of rain that was not expected at all, but we won't turn it down, so that's why I didn't do anything over the weekend, or around the farm anyway. We also got that rain down to Berkey, and I know that because my weather station started reporting down there. So this Borderview Farms 2, maybe, yeah, there you go, is that weather station that we installed at our farm down in Berkey. It's actually a Sylvania address, I guess. But yeah, so there'll be a link in the description. You guys can go and find that. If you download the WeatherLink app from Davis Instruments, it shows all of the weather stations that are online, and if you search for Borderview Farms, you'll be able to see both of ours there. So that's kind of a cool thing. And another thing, a few of you have noticed and commented on my past videos about my water bottle hanging out in the roof or the ceiling of the tractor there. These are AC vents, and this tractor is too old to have a built-in refrigerator. So yeah, I just stick a water bottle up in there, and it keeps it cold. I really haven't used that one since I've had my my big Arctic jug with me, but I don't have that. It's a nice way to keep a bottle of water at least relatively cold. Time for a tank change. This first one was a small tank. I think I know this one and the next one are big tanks, so hopefully we'll get big ones the rest of the day. Well, The exact scenario that is the reason why I wear a mask when I'm changing tanks just happened. I unhooked the old tank, hooked up to the new one, and had hose hooked up tight on there, opened the valves, and then I went to take my strap and hook it up to the tank there, and it started spewing out anhydrous. Liquid gas just pouring out of it. Thank God I had my mask and gloves on. Otherwise that would have burnt me pretty good. But here's the old O-ring. I took it out and replaced it. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's smashed. There's a pretty good groove in there. It's not cracked anywhere, but it's enough that it wasn't sealing right. And when I moved the hose and wiggled it, it created a gap, and the anhydrous come out pretty good. So that's what the PPE is for. Stuff is fine as long as you're careful with it and everything's working right. It's when something goes wrong that you gotta make sure you're prepared for it. And fortunately, I was, so I didn't get hurt, nothing wrong, never even smelled the ammonia, and we're back to running. So I do carry a couple of spare new O-rings just for that scenario. And then that happened. Broke a shank again. Snapped it clean off. Must have hit a rock right there. Fortunately, this time I was able to get it stopped quick enough that we did not break the hoses. So that's good. We don't have to worry about that. And I'm pretty sure this one's the opposite side as the one we replaced the last time. But all right, we got to get her taken apart. I got a hold of Phil. He's going to bring me a shank, and we'll get this changed. I just got done telling Phil how good things were going, and we hadn't broke anything in a long time, too. Oh, well. That's what I get. Back up and running. Phil brought me a shank and 2 people, and I stopped quick enough to not rip the hoses apart. That saved me a ton of time over the last one, or the last time, so it took maybe 10 minutes to fix. No big deal. I just talked to my John Deere dealer, asked him when my X9 combine was coming. It's not. Not for wheat harvest, probably not for fall harvest. Actually, Deere hasn't even released it yet, so I knew it wasn't, but I've been working on them real hard to get me an X9 combine, because what better way to get to 100,000 subscribers than to get the newest, latest, and greatest from John Deere, right? You guys remember what I said about Deere not even having released the X9 combines yet?
With the new combines,
today was the day.
Possible in harvesting capacity and
Come on.
efficiency.
There we go. Come on. There. YouTube videos dropped a little over an hour ago. Go check them out after you're done with mine. And once again, if any John Deere dealer wants to give me a demo, hook me up. Well, it's gonna be one of those days. Snapped another shank. Dang it. Well, I got it taken apart. I don't have a new shank with me, and I can't get a hold of Phil, so we're gonna have to fold up and head back to the farm and get one. Bummer. I got that shank changed, and I'm not in a super big hurry with side dressing right now because this replant corn is all still really small, and so giving it another couple of days to grow a little bit more before we get in there is not the end of the world. So anyway, I'm gonna get this trailer unloaded. I got some pry bars so I can pry that rear door open, and then I'm gonna go run. I gotta run some errands, grab some lunch, and we'll come back and get back over there to finish that field. Maybe do another one tonight. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We don't have a ton of side dressing left to do. We fair amount yet, but it's all replant corn, or a significant amount of replant corn. And I just, especially that last stuff that we planted there along the river, and it's barely out of the ground. We gotta let it come up a little bit more yet. Didn't take much to pry it open. All right. Now let's push the button. This is awfully handy. I'll have to pull ahead a little bit, it looks like. Well, that did work well. Like I said, it was mostly dirt and lava rock that we tore out, but yeah. I'll come back here with a backhoe and push it in there a little bit farther and keep it piled up. Alright, well, it's been an hour and a half since I broke that shank, but we're heading back to the field finally. Let's see, what did we get done over there? About 50 acres, I suppose? 46. So, let's see. Yeah, we're about half done over there. Might get another 40 acres after that done tonight. We'll see how it goes, but we'll keep moving here. Alright, that field is done. Jump across the lane here, and we'll work in this next field. There's 35 acres in this field, which a lot of this is taller corn. About half of this field-ish, maybe a little more, we did not tear out, so it's bigger corn. And time to get it side dressed because it's growing. Got another empty tank. Go change it. One more we'll finish here. We've only got about 19 acres left to do. Yeah, one more change. Another benefit, my air conditioning ducts. Keeps my chocolate from melting. I was just watching this center row here from the cab, and my one closing wheel, ceiling disc, was running on top of a row of corn. So I wanted to come and look at it. You guys see that? Right here. She's bent pretty good, and it's thrown the angle of this disc way off. So yeah, it's running out way too wide. It's not staying close to the knife like it's supposed to, and it's running down a row. So we're gonna adjust it. Right now we're gonna just kind of twist it on them 2 bolts, but we need to replace this arm. I don't have one of those, so when Phil comes back we'll do that. Well, I'm gonna try that. It looks a little better. I don't know, it still might be bad. If it is, we're just gonna take the whole dang thing off and not worry about it, and we'll fix it as soon as we can. Well, that one's in a bad spot to be able to see, especially on the camera. It's right down there. Let's see, there's that one's one side of it looks okay. The other side's right there, and it's all flared out, and it's really running close to that row of corn in there, and I don't think it's doing us any good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take that one off. It's not helping. We got to get a new arm that's not bent, but I don't think it's doing us any good anyway. All right, I just took it off. If we start noticing that one row leaking a lot, we'll have to get it fixed sooner rather than later. But our conditions right now, especially in this ground that was replanted, are pretty good. It's sealing really well. I don't have a lot of anhydrous seeping out behind any of the rows. So sometimes if the ground's really hard or just different conditions, sometimes it'll leak out, and them sealers are really important. But right now, we aren't fighting those conditions. So we aren't gonna worry about it until we're back at the farm, probably. It is definitely one of those days. Not 30 seconds after I got done filming that last clip, we broke another shank. I've only broken one of these all year. Did over half the corn, and I've broken 3 today. I haven't even done 90 acres yet. All right, I got one at least, so we can change it in the field here. 12 minutes. Took me 12 minutes by myself, but new shank is in, closing wheel's back on, knife moved over, coiled back up, everything reassembled. We're ready to go. Hopefully we don't break any more in the last 10 acres on this field. We made it. We finished the field without breaking any more shanks. Phew. Okay, what time is it? 4:30 almost. Yeah. We're gonna go to the next one. There's another 40 acres down the road we can go and do. Well, I'm getting this ends opened up. I guess it's dry enough now. We could have replanted a little closer to that hole. There was water right out to the edge of where I'm putting in hydrous on now when we replanted this. Just changed tanks. and I've got 27 acres left in this field, so it's going to be pretty close, but I should have enough here to finish all of this, which is good. It must have been one heck of a wind for that big of a branch to end up that far away from the trees. I'm sure it came from up there, but that's 10 rows out into the field. Alright, I have got a seed truck sitting down at my seed warehouse. It's got some beans on it for me, which I don't really think I need, but we brought them in anyway, just in case. So anyway, Phil's going to take over here for a minute. He's going to run this for a little while. This is the first time I've gotten to drive Phil's new truck. Still got new car smell. Alright, got my truck unloaded. Got 2 boxes and 2 pallets of bags of beans, just in case somebody needs some to finish up some replant somewhere. And Phil's going to finish that field over there. There was only 15 acres when I left, so it shouldn't take him real long. I need some stone for my little landscaping project I got going on, so we're going to scoop some of this stuff up and put it in my trailer. Sorry, this is a lot easier with 2 hands. I'm not paying attention to my camera very good. Alright, that ought to work. Alright, now we got to do a quick little scouting trip here. We got something we got to look out for. So on Saturday, our chemical sales rep sent me a text saying, hey, you better be checking your wheat for armyworms. So we're going to check our wheat for armyworms. So this wheat here is, it's not bad, but it's a little thin. But we're looking for any feeding on the leaves, which I don't see much. There is a little bit of disease in them light brown areas there. I don't see a lot of feeding. There may be some down lower on the plant. But we're also looking for the worms, which we may or may not find. Well, I really thought if I shook some of these, we would be able to see worms laying on the ground. But I'm not seeing any. Which you say is a good thing, right? Well, it is, but I was really just coming out here to show you the army worms that I know are here. Dad scouted a lot of our fields earlier this morning, and he found army worms in all of them. Enough that we are going to spray for army worms, which was not in the plan, but it's going to happen. And so I wanted to show you what we're looking for and what we were finding, but I'm not seeing them. And it could be because they generally come out when it's cool, like at night or cloudy days. And so, being that we're late in the afternoon, it's been sort of warm and sunny today, they probably have crawled down into the ground, and if we look again in the morning, we'll see them a lot heavier. We're going to go check one more spot and see, but yeah, we have army worms in our wheat. If you farm in my general vicinity and you have wheat, I strongly suggest you go check for army worms, because they're there. Okay, well, I am determining that the army worms have all gone home for the day, let's call it. But if you look at this leaf, see how the edges are all eaten off of that one? And this one here's got a chunk missing out of it. And there are several that are that way. This one's got a bunch missing from it. They're definitely been here. I just can't find them. I can find plenty of mosquitoes, and I'm guessing they've crawled down into the ground during the heat of the day. Oh, there's one right there. Right there. See that little bugger? There's one. I knew he was here. Yeah, that's what we're after. There's a bunch of them. Threshold is 6 per foot of row. Whatever a foot of row means. You know, there's different row spacings and stuff, so our rows are 7.5. That's probably what they mean, but some people plant wheat in 10-inch rows. I would assume the threshold changes based on that. But Dad said when he was out looking, he was finding 2 or 3 big ones, and then he would shake the rows, just kind of knock them like this, and you'd find 2 or 3 little ones that would fall out in a small area. And so that basically says go spray them. Yeah, insecticides tend to be cheap. We happen to have some leftover stuff from a couple of years ago, actually, sitting in the barn still, enough for 600 acres, so we've got plenty. So it's really not costing us much. We're using up inventory and just time and fuel to do it. We can spray it fast, so we're just going to go ahead and spray it, because while a little bit of defoliation, especially on the lower leaves and them eating those leaves, is not the end of the world, it's not going to hurt that much. What happens when they get thick is that they will feed on all of the leaves, and eventually they will start clipping the heads off. They'll bite through the stalk, and the heads where all the grain is that we need to combine will be laying on the ground, and there'll be nothing left. And that would be devastating. So for maybe $2 an acre in chemical costs and a couple bucks for operation of the sprayer, can't afford to not spray. So we're just gonna spray them. Here's some of them that Dad found earlier. For some reason decided to put in a water bottle, and they're nasty little buggers. There's some big ones, and there's some smaller ones, but there's enough of them. We gotta get them. All right, I'm gonna take my load of stone back to my house and see if I can't work on that for an hour or so tonight. Phil's finishing up that field. Dad was gonna go spray a load of insecticide out tonight. Part of the problem with this insecticide is that it's pretty nasty stuff. Like, everybody worries about Roundup, right? Well, Roundup is about the safest chemical that we use. Anhydrous probably has the most immediate risk as far as the hazard to, breathing it in and stuff. But this insecticide is right up there as a close second as far as the stuff that we like handling the least. So plenty of PPE, gloves. He's going to wear a mask, respirator for doing it and stuff. But sometimes that's not enough for him, and it sort of makes him feel sick. And so I told him, I said, well, you do one, and if you don't want to do the rest, or you get sick from it or whatever, you just let me know and I'll spray the rest. So we may be spraying tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we got to get that done tonight and tomorrow so that the armyworms do not destroy our wheat crop. And we got to keep moving with this anhydrous as well. I'm trying to be sort of patient and go slow on it, because the corn is still small. It's really not away from or ahead of us, and it wouldn't be the worst thing to give it a day or two to keep growing, but we should be able to wrap that up in about 3 days. So I'm not pushing too awfully hard, but at the same time we got to keep it moving. So yeah. Anyway, we got about 135 acres of the side dressing done today, so that's a pretty good day. Not great. Breaking 3 shanks certainly was no fun. Hopefully we don't do that again, but it is what it is. So yeah, more of the same tomorrow, I guess, like I said. And hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, please. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments on this stuff, leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer it. If we are spraying tomorrow, I'll show you that procedure a little bit more. I haven't been able to run the sprayer since I've been making these videos, so hopefully in the next day or two I'll get a chance, regardless of whether it's with this insecticide or not. But I got some other stuff I'm working on as well. Yeah, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, in the description down below I should have a link for my weather stations, so if you guys are interested in seeing that data, what they do, check it out. Made a little progress here tonight. I need a little bit more stone though. We're getting there.